Hi there, and welcome to another episode of In the Spotlight. With this special, we have Marie Caffrey, CEO of Universal Floral, that will be joining us. As ever with SMEs, they are very, very busy people. So Marie will be joining us very, very shortly. Now, just to talk about a bit about landscaping, internal and external, tends to be an area that, as facilities managers, operations managers looking after premises and properties, can actually be the unsung hero. But when you go into hotels, you go into your office spaces, you look at some beautiful grounds, Universal Floral are one of those SMEs that really ensure that those areas are not missed. Now, there is a lot that goes into internal landscaping, external landscaping, and today when Maria joins us, she will be sharing her journey with us and the journey of Universal Floral. There's also some really interesting areas that we'll talk about today around technology and how that is impacting on this side of business, and also about the mental health and well-being. So Maria will talk to us about that as well when she joins. Just bear with us. So just to talk about, while we're waiting, some of the upcoming guests that we have in for April in store. We've got the amazing Zdenka Reed, and Zdenka and I go back many, many years, where we used to do facilities management in a few clients in London. And Zdenka has moved into her passion, which is yoga and retreats. So we have a spotlight special with her coming up. We also have Graham Pugh, a brand agency, and Graham will be joining us in the spotlight next week. And we have just so many other amazing entrepreneurs and SMEs to share with you. So we have Andrew Crosdale, who spent a number of years in the police force and is now working in leadership and helping corporations. And then we also have a couple of spotlight specials coming up. So Collider, Jason Roberts, and a few others that are in store for you in the spotlight series. Now, just bear with me, audience. I just want to find out where and what's happened with Marie. So thank you for your patience. Hiya. Hello.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Lady on the road, and we'll talk about this actually as well. And
Uh,
everyone,
Thank God my
welcome.
plant knowledge is A1, Maxine. My IT knowledge, I could have more
So
skills in. How's everything?
So we really good. So we are live, and I've already introduced Universal Floral. But Marie, thank you so much. I know that you're busy with projects and literally doing lots of amazing things for clients. But let's just start with just introducing yourself to the audience, and then we'll get stuck into Universal and your journey.
Oh, that's so brilliant. Maxine, thanks so much for having me, and I'm so excited. My name is Marie Caffrey, and I am with Universal Floral. It's a company that was founded by my parents, Marion and Noel, over 55 years ago. And we supply and maintain plants for offices throughout Ireland, UK, and Europe. Currently, myself and my three brothers are directors, and we look after many clients within Ireland, nationwide. Around 10 years ago, we moved over to UK, and similarly towards Europe as well. So at Universal Floral, we would look after all the landscaping requirements for commercial clients. For building managers, you would look after, let's say, 90% of our work would be interior landscaping, putting plants into office spaces. We'd also look after, exterior courtyards. We would also do a lot of living walls, very popular. Also moss walls, let's say cut floral arrangements for different occasions, seasonal. So we would look after all the landscaping elements within a building. And we've got a lot of experience behind us. As I said, 55 years. We have 50 staff, 25 full-time, 25 part-time, and with a lot of experience. A lot of our staff would be with us over 10 years. So it's a good team, and
Yeah.
we have, you know, lovely clients who want to increase the greenery and the all benefits of greenery within the office environment. So it's a win-win for us to do our best for clients and to bring good planting to the offices as well, Maxine.
Yeah, and I did talk before you joined us about just some of the areas that we would talk about today in this special, which is, let's talk about first of all some of the challenges that you may face and how you manage those, because you're actually across different regions. So how do you ensure? And I've been, firsthand, I've witnessed, installations and just the quality of service, of products, and aftercare as well. So, just what are some of the challenges for as a CEO of that company that come and enable you to be that graceful swan that you are?
Yeah. Well, it's always we try to do all our preparation work in advance, and I guess especially with COVID as well. The first thing was we would, if a client got in touch with us and they say we would like plants in our office space, the first thing we would say was, hey, let's visit your office. Let's see what proposal we can put together, what elements, like maybe the client might want planting for a reception area for new clients and for staff, or they might want planting, let's say, on their staircase if it's for safety, or they might want planting for screening. So first of all, we would engage with the client as to where they what they wanted the planting for, or we would ask the client to give us as much information, let's say a floor plan, or an idea of the space. So once we can figure out what the client wants, that first challenge, we can try to focus on giving them exactly what they want. Then the next challenge might be, okay, we need to get our planting in from Holland. All of our interior planting would come from Holland. A lot of our exterior would be very local, from Ireland or UK or Germany. So the next challenge is picking the best planting for the client. So we would be engaging with our suppliers to make sure that they have the right. Our main point would be the right planting for the right place. So we would make sure that we can get that challenge right. And then I guess the third challenge would be bringing all the items to the install day. And so we try to prepare in advance, location, how do we get on site, where will our truck be. So you have all those challenges every day of just making sure that from the client contacts you from the first email to delivering on site, and then to a follow-up maintenance every 2 weeks. Um, so it's all, I guess you're trying to prepare everything in advance. But I think the best thing about dealing with any challenges is having plants in your office is a long-term investment. So you're engaging with the client all the time to kind of, once the install is done, once the maintenance is done, you're trying to keep that relationship right so the planting will thrive. So you're trying to, so I think it's a long-term relationship. So any
Mm.
challenges you want to deal with very quickly, especially with landscaping with plants. If the plant looks sad, you'll see it pretty quickly. And when a client gets in touch and she's like, I mean, at the start, when you put plants into an office environment, it does take a bit of time for plants to settle because they're moving, they're in transit. Plants are like us. They feel things, they feel cold, they feel stressed. And that can happen when you're, doing an install. I guess that's a challenge. So that's where the maintenance comes in as well. Our technician will be keeping an eye on the plants for the first few weeks till they settle. Or a client might say, oh, I'm not too keen about it. I'm not too sure this plant is doing well. So that's where the maintenance or the caring side comes in, that you're tackling that challenge as well. So
Mm.
yeah, there are challenges and you best look at them, but it's they're nice challenges. You have to overcome them. And I think sometimes when the client is asking you these questions, that's an opportunity for learning for the client who might not, who be used to properly plant, who is used to planting exterior, but planting interior, they're learning as well. And you're
Mm.
always learning because every office is different. Every office has, you know, different light levels, water levels, different ways. So I think it's all a learning, and you try to bring your client on that journey from that first email all the way to see the plants thriving.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's yeah, and I've seen your implementations firsthand, and I am definitely a fan, as you know. So you touched on there that the planting is in your suppliers mainly are in Holland, and I guess as an SME as well, um, how do you cover like sustainability and that, because with clients now there's more things about the environment, being socially responsible. So what do you do to actually tackle that requirement?
Yeah, for sustainability, for us, it's the main point, the right plant in the right place. There's no point putting, let's say, a low level, it was low light, by putting a plant there that was not right, that needs more light. So the whole idea behind the right plant in the right place is that, and I guess it's because you see from the floor plan, you visit a client, you're looking at these different, I guess, areas. So that's where you focus on, because you want the plants to survive and to do well as best as possible. So we'd focus a lot on the right plant in the right place. Or you have some plants, let's say for water levels. Let's say some plants might want to be closer to windows for light, but that takes a lot of water. So you might think we might put a sansevieria here. That might take less water or be used to this environment. And let's say a plant with more water in another area. So you're kind of thinking at the back of your head which plants suit well. And for that, the sustainability end. The other items that we're really focusing on at the moment are planters,
Mm.
sustainable planters. We have, and there's so much now coming onto the market. It's really amazing. We have planters that would be like plastic, but they've been
Mhm.
given a second life, so that they've been melted down. Let's say they're old Hoovers
Yeah.
or computers, and they've been
All
melted
right.
down, and then you have a new planter. So that's giving a planter a second life. So sustainability, that end, it's quite clever. There's a lot more coming up to the market like that. We try to
Yeah.
source locally. Another thing which is kind of beginning to happen is, as well, is some clients might have, let's say, cut floral arrangements every week, and
Yeah.
that's, a little bit of a high turnover in cut flowers. So what we might suggest as well is, why don't you go for a living wall? Because
Yeah.
the living wall install and maintenance would cost the same amount as having cut flowers. So you could have a nice living wall, which is made from sustainable uh, plastic, the recycled plastic, and you're
Yeah.
looking after the planting the whole time, and you're looking after the water levels. So that's another way to think at sustainability,
Hmm.
with new ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on to technology, because I know that when we met, we touched on a bit of the technology and what's happening in the industry in terms of utilizing technology to help sort of clients and your planting.
Yeah, the technology is good. It's always helpful. I always advocate, like, our planting and our maintenance is every 2 weeks, and the human touch is always the most important, because the human element is seeing the planting thrive and survive. With the technology, and it's good to have. We use it now in London and Ireland, and it's just kind of like a backup of data to show as well. It's nice to have that data to show to clients, to explain, okay, well, this is the water levels of this living wall. We would use technology more so for the living walls rather
Yeah.
than the individual planters. But we also use it for, let's say, large scale planting. You might want to have, when I say technology, it's like a water meter with an app, and that would give you an idea. We use it for the living walls as well. It gives you an idea of the water levels and how the planting is doing. So it's good to have it back up as for, as data alongside the human element, where our colleagues are in every 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
it does help. It's
Yeah.
additional, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I know we touched on planting, and I remember many years ago when I first started in facilities management, and I was looking after a number of buildings that had planting, and I actually remember we were tasked very, I mean, this is going back over 20 years ago, so a very long time ago, but even it's still relevant because, we were tasked with how we're going to cut cost, how we're going to make savings, what services can we look at reviewing. And sometimes, sadly, the planting was the first thing that would end up being targeted as an area of reduction, or even in some offices, complete removal. Now, for me, I mean, I love greenery around me. But can you just talk around what are the impacts of removing planting from an office space?
It's sad. That's the
I know.
impact. It is sad. I always say to, I think I was speaking with a client yesterday about this, and she said to me, the planting, it lifts a room. And when you're putting planting into a room or an installation, you immediately feel that lift and you feel the energy. And I think it's important to have that element of energy in the space. So when you do get the odd clients that do say, "Oh, we have to cut down for whatever reason," it is, you would we always try to kind of negotiate and kind of, where can we work together on this? Is there other elements that we can work with? Um, for example, we would look at, let's say, let's do a purchase option, or let's look at maybe if you want to group planters together at a reception, and then um, you kind of come back, you touch base with the client, go, how are things working, and let's add something else here or something else there. I think it always, every couple of years you might get a question like this, and then after a few months the client comes back and it's like, oh, you know what, we missed the plants, they make such a difference, we're going to bring the plants back. And I think that's what usually happens very, very often. It's
Mm,
very rare that you have all the plants in and then you take out the plants, because people really realize the benefits of having plants in the space. It's not only to look good, it's not only to make the office look good, but it's also the physical elements of looking at green. If you're looking at a computer screen all day, you want to see, you want your eyes to relax, to breathe, and looking at green is like that. I was talking to someone the other day and they said something about this. He said to me, where do you feel most calm? Is it
mm,
the office? And everyone was like, no, like most calm in the office. Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy. And he's like, but why but then don't you feel most calm like sitting in nature, being surrounded by greenery? And everyone was like going, yeah. And he was like, well, why don't, that's what the office should be like. Do you want to feel calm in your office? Do you want to feel energized? If you're feeling calm and energized and full of life outside in green, then why don't you do that inside? And then
yeah.
everyone, so it's funny, in a room of what, 50 or 60 people at a well conference, and they were like, no, we feel more calm and energetic outdoors. And it's like, well, let's do it. So you do. It kind of comes round, Maxine.
Mm. And I just find that I mean, personally, for me, when I go out for my walks and you're in nature, that's where you have that reflection time. But also, it's we talked as well about the mental well-being, and that element of, if it's just brick walls or walls and paint and there's just nothing to help you calm down or break from the intensity of whatever you're working on,
Mm.
um, it can actually affect your well-being in the workplace, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's first of all, it's the planting helps the air. It's good for the air. It's good for you
Mm,
breathing. It offers calm when you're there as well. The greenery, it's good for if you're for colds. That even, I think the most important thing is for staff retention and for recruiting purposes. It's, you want to have a nice green environment. You want to feel, cared and looked after. And I think when we have our maintenance staff in, you really notice that people do stop. First of all, when you walk into an office, everyone is like really happy to see the gardener. It's like, hey, it's a gardener, and there's like a buzz there. And then it's the opportunity that, a funny thing as well, when you water plants, you smell the soil, you smell a plant being watered. So if you're in your office and you smell the water, you smell the plant, you see the leaves, you see it's relaxing, and all those effects are really relaxing. They're energetic. They make your mind alert, going, oh, wait a second, the gardener is here, there's something happening.
mm,
So it does bring that energy and that alertness. And then the caring aspect, that there's someone looking after your plants, looking after your area. And then it's also nice. A lot of colleagues would ask our maintenance technicians about the different plants, and they'd say, oh, I have this plant here. Well, why is my plant at home not doing well? And we would say, probably might be overwatering it, which usually happens a lot. So you have to only water the plants in the office. We do it every 2 weeks. And you
mm,
have to water the plants well, let the plants dry out, and water again. No plant likes to sit in water. No person likes to have wet socks. It's absolutely horrible. So you really got to understand that plants don't like sitting in water. So there is, the funny thing as well about plants is not every plant needs exact same water. Like not every
mm,
person we really should drink 8 glasses of water. Some drink more, some drink less, but it's the same with plants. Every plant has a water level, and the technician will know that. So that's why it's good to have the technician on site. But any help we can offer to anybody is always good. For example, yesterday, well, it's only a simple thing, but a client had she bought, it was some client event, and the client bought some succulents for the team, and then she's like, oh, I don't have a watering can. And so she asked my colleague who was on site, do you have a watering can? And he had a small little watering can right there, and he's like, there you go, this will help. And so that that element of surprise, I guess, is always nice. Or I think the point is you're engaging in conversation with the staff, with the team, and the more awareness is always better. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, thanks for that, Marie. I
No.
was going to say, how do you...
I'm in Cork. I haven't been to Cork in, I don't know, a few years. So I'm back in Cork and it's warm.
Oh my gosh, you're lucky. We've got rain. We've got rain today.
Oh no, it's lovely here
And
in Cork.
I got soaked just before getting ready to come on. I was just like, oh my gosh, rushing to get myself looking presentable. So just giving you specific niche, how do you effectively market and engage with the industry?
Within the landscaping industry. Um, how do I?
Facility management industry, because we're your target audience, aren't we?
Oh, yes, 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 you would be. How do I engage with your industry? I think I'm pretty lucky that we've been in the industry a long time, and word of mouth plays a big role in us getting new work. And every job is only as good as the last job you do. So, regarding the industry, I think it's important to always come up with new ideas, and can't be going in with the same grey pots. This is going to work. Facilities are always looking for something new to bring to the table, a new good story, something to bring to the client. So always new products work well. Also as well, talking about sustainability, making an effort there. I think what works well with us as well is we always try to install within 2 weeks. And that's really important for us. It's important for me because I funny in the landscaping industry, it's always last minute or 6 months in advance.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you've always got to be prepared. But I feel that where we excel, Universal, is that I think our just been in the business within 50 years, over 50 years, we have a lot of good suppliers. We're very good with our, well, I suppose, having backup and making sure that the quality is right. It's a small industry, landscaping industry, so you're, I suppose, the client is always demanding the best, and we're always demanding from our suppliers the best. What can you
yeah,
do? And then just delivering the product at time. And we always try to be, deliver, what was it, the rapid response team. We tried that. We tried to get back to queries within 24 hours, been really quick. I always believe, like, seriously, landscaping, it should not be a hassle. It should not, it's like
yeah,
such a nice element to deal with. A client shouldn't be ringing me up going, oh, our plants are not good, or there's an issue here. It's like, no, it's like really easy. It's like really easy to look after, and you have to have passionate staff that really, it's like when you have your garden, you just want to look after your garden. A lot of our clients, they're very busy. Some people might say, oh, some clients might say, oh, we'll look after the planting ourselves. But the client is very busy,
yeah,
and understand that it is very specific, and we look after that. So engaging with the industry, I think they understand that we are experts at what we do. We do it well, and you will not have any problems. And if you do, if you have, you might get something like, oh, I've got a VIP visit tomorrow, or like in 2 days. We need something done ASAP.
Yeah.
And because we have a lot of our staff are they're very quick. I mean, quick as well. We've got a good range, so in different areas, so we can act very quickly. So, okay, you
Mm,
got a VIP, no problem. We're going to have all your plants looking fabulous. That's
mm,
okay. I think the best thing, Maxine, in our favor is that we work really closely with the client. It's
yeah.
not like selling a table, I'm never going to see you again. I'm like, we're going to be with you for forever. And that's the thing. If someone says to me, I'm not, maybe we might look at it next year. I'm like, no problem. I'm going to be here. I have rang up clients after 10 years going, hey, you ready for your plants now? And they'll be going like yes, okay, I'm ready. So
I
there is,
really read it.
it's a long-term thing. I feel with planting, it's like, maybe you're not ready for it now, but you're probably ready for it next year or 2 years' time. There will come a time when you're like, yeah, we're ready for it now. And then I'm ready as well. So it is
Yeah.
a long term relationship. And it's a good relationship with the clients. Um, always I kind of have it like, let's say that if a client needs planting or flowers, that they'll remember me and they think about me, and I try to kind of update my LinkedIn or all that at all times, so people are aware that, hey, if you need plants, if you need even advice, or you just want to discuss something, reach out to me anytime, because it's good. I love it. I
Yeah.
could talk about plants all day.
I was gonna say actually, because I do know that you recently launched your newsletter on LinkedIn, and that is just full. Just for the audience, just to say, if you haven't connected with Marie on LinkedIn and subscribed to her newsletter, it's full of great advice, lots of nuggets of value that will help you if you look after buildings, help you with how to get the best from plants in your building. Um,
Oh,
Marie,
thanks.
where do you see the business in the next 5 years?
It's a growing business. I see maybe there might be a move towards hydroplanting rather than soil.
Hmm.
Hydroplanting is very big in Europe, and they've
What,
made
what
the Irish and UK
what is
market might follow over there.
what's hydroplanting? Sorry,
Hydroplanting
what's
is
hydro?
planting,
Yeah.
yeah, it's planting in water. It's like planting in water rather than soil. Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
a new concept. It's been around for the last 20 or 30 years. In Ireland and UK, we would usually have planting in soil, but there's also planting in mortar in hydro granules.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I can send you a picture. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's another option, hydro. There'll also be a lot more. I think living walls for interiors will get bigger down the line.
Hmm.
And definitely there's clients that are making better use of their exterior spaces, their balconies and all that,
Yeah.
rather than kind of forgetting about them. They are beginning to bring them in.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received as an entrepreneur, as an SME?
The best piece of advice I have
Mm,
received, um try to contact a new client every day. I think that's good advice, because I think sometimes you get very busy, but it's important that just one email a day to anyone will make a
yeah,
difference. And I do try to do that. I try to reach out to someone once a day, because it's important, because you could forget. And the more people know that you are there and that you know, you can solve a problem for them down the line, that they'll know to get in touch.
yeah.
Mm.
How do you just on a personal front, how do you maintain work-life balance?
Work life.
Or don't you?
I'm doing
It's
well.
always a tricky one for our guests.
I'm kind of easy, isn't that? I love what I do. I love planting. I mean, I said to my dad this morning, so strange. I was talking to my colleague Kaz last night. He was doing an install in Berlin, and I went to bed and I was dreaming about myself and Kaz working on a living wall. And then my alarm clock went off at 3 a.m. this morning. I was like, I was having this amazing dream about this living wall. So it was kind of random. So I'm always thinking, it's always on my mind. And I have three children, I have three young boys. And I feel that I feel I'm good at networking. So I try to do, like, let's say, a good bit of networking during the day. And then in the evening time, I'll try to do a proposal or so. But also, what I've been doing more of is delegating, and it's really, really good. I have a
Mm.
great girl, Sive, in Amsterdam, and I'll send Sive over proposals and she'll work at it. And she's better at me, the proposals, and I'm always learning
Yeah.
something new. And I feel that's really, as the business is getting bigger, there's only so many hours a day. So you've got to kind of shoot. I try to act quickly because sometimes I think like, oh, I like this idea. I'm going to sit down tomorrow and I'm going to think about it. And like, I don't have that time. So I kind of have to try to think quickly. I have to shoot it over to somebody, have to shoot it over to somebody. And it helps me a lot when I shoot it over to somebody because they might send me back the idea. And then it's kind of giving me a head start, which is good to add my own ideas because sometimes it kind of halves the project for me.
Mm.
So that works well. And it's good for teamwork as well. Sometimes I'm like, not somebody, a new client, a potential new client emailed about plants in a library. And I got really excited. I was like, oh, I want to put plants into a library. And the client sent me the video of the library. And I was like, this is so exciting. By then this morning, I was like, oh, okay, I'm short on time. I'm going to send it over to one of my colleagues, let them work at it, come back, and then we'll put the proposal together. And it makes for a quicker turnaround.
Yeah,
So it's really
absolutely.
exciting. We're getting a lot of different queries for lots of new. It's not office spaces now. It's everybody. Every You can incorporate planting anywhere.
Yeah.
Any space, hospitals, swimming pools, libraries, personal offices. It's before, planting was always considered a luxury, and now it's not. Now it's like, hey, it's important. It's
Yeah.
important for us. It's important for the feel good, for the office
Well-being.
worker, for the well-being. So yeah. Mm.
It's quite interesting you said there about when you get lots of ideas and how you have to shoot them off to people. That's quite interesting because I was at a talk yesterday evening. Shout out to the guys there, and I'll send you the book. Actually, it's recommended. Feel Good Productivity by it's Ali Abdal, and what he was saying is that him with his team, they have a Notion, and he has an ideas place where he actually puts all the ideas so the team can review and pick them up. So it's just a way of not derailing your current projects and things. And so that's what I thought about when you were saying then about lots of ideas. Um,
Yeah.
working with a team and delegating is just so important. And it's like you said, there's people out there that actually it's their passion and it's what they love to do as well, in terms of some work that we might think, oh my god, I've got to do that again this week, but they actually think, oh my god, yeah, that's their sweet spot. So it's nice to recognize as well where in your team, there's guys that have the sweet spot so that you can utilize them in different ways to support the business. So
Yeah.
how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and what's happening in your industry?
Um, Latest trends. I visited the workplace show in London 2 weeks ago, and I found it good just to engage with architects and to see what was happening, what my competitors are doing, what people are up to. I Yeah, I got to keep on top of that. So keep on top of things. But I usually my suppliers are pretty good at updating me. I'm really curious. There's a lot of new products on the market, a lot of planters. a lot of, I think as well, when you are, I do use LinkedIn a lot. I've tried X now a few days ago to start off, but I think when you're putting out the vibes, people latch on and go, oh, wait a second, she's into landscape and she might be interested in this. So the more you're putting out social media, what you're doing, you do get attracted with new products. And I do a lot. I like a lot the LinkedIn not the LinkedIn groups. They're quite good
Mm,
as well, just to find out what people are doing. Funny enough, I get a lot of my, I suppose, inspiration from clients themselves.
yeah.
Clients have a lot of ideas. Before it was like, oh, I like this in a magazine, but now it's very
So I know you're driving. I've lost you there. Just give us a moment. Hopefully, Marie, if you can hear me, you'll come back. Marie, can you hear me? For the audience that are watching, just bear with us. Marie, can you hear me yet? So while we're waiting for Marie, oh, we've lost Marie. Okay. While we're waiting for Marie to come back, so we've talked about some technologies, future looking at hydroplanting in water rather than soil. That's quite interesting. And then also moving towards more living walls. I've seen some living walls in offices and they are absolutely stunning. And also when you've got a large office space, it's really important to say, well, what can we do with that space? Just thinking about when Marie talked around sort of looking at green, just to help calm, just to energize. Living walls can create that environment. Some other things as well that building owners are now bringing balconies into play. So I remember having worked and managed some really amazing buildings, and you go out on the balcony and it's all kind of grass, but it's nice to hear that the balcony spaces are now being incorporated as the landscaping solution. Other trends, so Marie's talked about the workplace show, using LinkedIn a lot and LinkedIn groups to gain information and learn about different products. If you're a supplier out there in and you service the internal landscaping industry, I mean, do contact Maria. Some of the ways she talked about recycling and sustainability. So with sustainability being recyclable planters. I love that. I love that idea that no matter what service in facilities management we come across, we can build in an element of sustainability. So what I will do is let's just give a couple of minutes to see if Maria can rejoin us. One of the important messages, I think, is that you can't get away from technology, but equally the human element is still, as we heard from her, vitally important in the maintenance of plants, the servicing, and that interaction on a regular basis with clients, whether you're in an office space or a different type of environment where there's planting to be maintained. You cannot get away from the human touch. It is very, very important. What I will do is just say, so Marie is on LinkedIn if you'd like to reach out to her. And also to just really think about planting and whether, if you're someone that is considering planting but you're unsure of the benefits that it brings, we can share some data and some information on the benefits of having landscaping in your either office environment or an environment that you have as a place of work. So thank you for joining us on this Spotlight special with Maria Caffrey. We will put out some information after this so that you can see the great products that Universal supply, and also just a bit around the research, as I've said. Thank you all for listening. As these are LinkedIn Lives, we know sometimes that these things happen when we lose a guest, or, you know, something happens and Marie's in transit on the way to doing her job. So thank her massively for joining me on the Spotlight. So look forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Take care and enjoy your day.